Hello, so this is for discussion 2 for The Spirit Catches You and You Fall Down. The first question I want to answer is, how did these chapters make you feel and what emotions did they evoke? So really the main feelings that I had while reading these chapters were frustration, sympathy, and sadness. The frustration stemming from the fact that Leah, being the primary example, wasn't getting the medication that she needed. And although you feel sympathy for the parents because they couldn't understand the instructions and they felt that the medicine was making her worse, at the end of the day, she still needed her medications. So reading that, you understand why the parents felt the way that they did about the medications and the way that they felt about the doctors. But at the end of the day, you still feel so frustrated because you know that ultimately those medicines are only going to help Leah feel better from her epilepsy. And really, I felt sadness when Leah had to be taken away from her parents. Again, you understand why that needed to happen so Leah could get the medical treatment that she needed, but you just feel awful for the parents because they're being thrown into this new country, this completely different language, and they don't know what to do. This is so far from what they experience in their culture. So it's just a lot of mixed emotions reading these chapters. And I felt frustration with some of the doctors that were being interviewed too. For example, with Dr. Robert Small and how he was saying that the Hmong people are almost a Stone Age people, which that just first of all seemed completely racist. And just because someone has a different culture than you or has a different upbringing than you doesn't mean that they're any less of a person or that they're any less civilized than you are. And let's see, the second question I want to answer is, did you learn something new and did it broaden your perspective about a personal or social issue? So I definitely learned something new from these chapters, especially in chapter 4, when the Hmong people were asking Mao Tao about her experiences at the refugee camp regarding American doctors and asking if the doctors would split open your head after you die, and talked about how American doctors take away so much blood from a person because the Hmong people believe that every person only has a certain amount of blood in them and that the doctors keep taking blood and that you would die if you lose all of your blood. And it really opened my eyes as to how differently people think from culture to culture, because here in the West, most of us know that your blood can replenish, but if you're from a completely different country that practices medicine differently, you're not necessarily going to know that. And every culture, every country, people just have different superstitions and people tend to be scared of what they don't know. And I think that was a big takeaway from chapter 4 especially. But yeah, thank you.